I'm Terri Matthews. I host the show On the Spectrum. We talk about all things autism. How many of you like basketball? Awesome. So I brought Kalin Bennett. He has been diagnosed with autism. He is the first athlete with a Division I scholarship to head to college on a scholarship playing basketball. Is that awesome?
Welcome to On the Spectrum. I'm your host, Terri Matthews, and today we're on location at Haverford Middle School. We had an awesome time today, and you're going to get to meet a special friend, Sonya Bennett, who's here to talk about her son, Kalin Bennett, the first autistic individual to be diagnosed and sign a Division I scholarship headed to Kent State. So I'm so excited for her, not only just to share with me, but to share with you her journey and how she overcame what everybody else told her that her son could not. So I am so happy that you came in late last night and spent some time. And there are a lot of questions because we have a lot of parents that are here and they watch our show and they want to know, like, what about me? What about me as a mom? What about me through diagnosis? So I have a few questions to go through. Feel free to tell our audience anything that you feel that's going to continue to encourage them in this journey. Sure. So let's talk about first, we know that Kalin was diagnosed with autism. We've seen the media. We've seen that he's headed to Kent State. We know he has a Division I scholarship, but I want to start with you as a mom because even with me, you've inspired me. Tell me, when Kalin was diagnosed, what was that like for you?
It was like the air was taken out of my soul. You know, you know something is wrong, but once they actually say the words what's wrong, I was looking for a reason why, and I started to blame myself.
Wow, you did blame yourself.
I did.
It's interesting because a lot of moms say that. I think I even went through that. I blamed overworking. Maybe I forgot to take vitamins, you know, just all of these different types of things. So you did blame yourself.
Oh, yes.
When did you say, this is not my fault?
I said it wasn't my fault after I had a talk with my grandfather. And he had to pull the reins and pull me back in, you know? But it was a struggle at first. It was a struggle at first because I kept blaming myself because I functioned with one lung. And so during the pregnancy, I had to have my oxygen. I had to have, you know, the steroids. And so I was like, I did this, you know, I did this. But after praying and seeking God and talking to God and then talking to my grandfather, like I said, I came to the realization that it's not your fault and that I didn't do anything wrong, and just now I need to roll up my sleeves and see how to help my son.
When I think of basketball is opportunity. I think of basketball as an opportunity, and basketball has opened a lot of doors over my life. Sports has opened up a lot of doors for people like me. When I was younger, my mom figured like something was wrong, you know, when they go to the doctor and they don't think anything's wrong. But she said when she has a feeling, she stick to that feeling. So went to the doctor, they said I've been diagnosed with autism. And then going up older, I didn't like being around people at all. Absolutely hated it. Couldn't stand it. But then I started getting better by the grace of God, just being able to just keep growing and growing. So then I started to talk at 7. I didn't speak a word until I was 7 years old. I had a lot of stuff I had to do, like social-wise. My social skills were down. Me being around people, that was down. Comprehension, that was down. But nobody thought I would be in a position to be able to talk. I didn't even know this until like this year. She told me I wasn't able to walk until like 4 years old by myself. She said I was just in the room, laying down, and then she looked over. I took off running. She didn't want to say nothing because she said if she scared me, I would have stopped. Then went to school, didn't like it. But then I was so good at math. I'm a math guy, so like multiplication, addition, subtraction, all of it. I get it like that sometimes. I'm still working on triple digits.
So you had to roll up your sleeves and go to work. Now, I know that Kalin, based upon us talking, you told me he didn't actually start speaking himself until he was 7.
Yes.
During that 7 years of silence, what was going through your mind about your son's future and then about your own?
Well, about his future, I was trying to figure out how, and at first I was just trying to get help for him because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I hadn't been down that lane before, ever. And reaching out to people became more and more of a failure because they wanted to put Kalin in a box with other kids on the spectrum, but he was in a whole different world by himself. So I thought, you know, like I said, I had never seen this before, and I just knew that he would talk, he would walk.
You felt it, right?
Yes.
Because he didn't walk until he was 4, and he didn't speak until he was 7. Was he potty trained during this time?
He didn't get potty trained until about 4 as well.
See, I remember this because I had this conversation with Selena, my good friend who's over at Sister Circle, and I told her, you know, I remember when Jaden finally jumped out of the bed. It was at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he ran and darted to the bathroom, and we never looked back. And he too was like almost 5 years old.
Yeah.
And I just kept saying, Lord, I can't change a baby this big
Pull-ups.
eating regular food. This is not going to work, Lord. You didn't pick the wrong parent. But it's interesting that, you know, you were just looking for help. You didn't even think about Kalin's future. It was just what could help you right now.
Yes. Oh, no, basketball, anything like that. No, I just wanted to help him to, it was like a black hole because he wasn't looking at me. It was like he was just looking through me and past me. And that would break my heart every time. Because I wanted to feel him. I wanted to hear him. I wanted him to hug me. I wanted him to love me. I remember one time I was just really just craving a hug. And I wasn't talking to him, but I said, if you don't hug me, I'll die if you don't hug me. You gotta hug me. And he was in the corner, he was rocking. And he just turned around and came and he hugged me.
Really?
Yes.
And
that was from going years and years trying to get a hug because he didn't want you to touch him at all.
Yeah, I was hearing Kalin share that. He's like, I did not like to be touched.
No.
I did not like to be touched. And it's interesting because we try to educate people, especially using this show. Not every child is that way. Some kids want to be hugged. Jaden hugged all the time, which was why they were confused. But I didn't know if that was like a created habit because I did it. But at times, even now, when enough hug is enough hug. Like it can't be too long or not right now. It kind of has to be on his time. So it's good for the parents to understand that and know that they're not alone when they're feeling that way. Because even you encourage me to look, like I told you, I said, you still got all your teeth, all your hair, you look good, girl. You've given me hope.
Out a couple of times.
That's all right. They make some good hair these
days.
So what I think is amazing about you is that Kalin is not the only talent in the family. Obviously, you're beautiful. The world can see that. But I think what most people don't know is that you sing.
Yes.
You sing, and I heard you say earlier that you have one lung, right?
I function with one lung.
Function with one lung.
Yes, chronic asthma started, I think my mother said, started when I was 1.
Wow.
Yes, and so doctors told me that if I continued to sing, I'd probably be dead by 25. I'm yet 52 years old, and I still sing. That
good old Olay, something they doing down in Arkansas. I don't know if it's the vegetables they growing or what, but you look great.
Thank you.
So tell me, when Kalin was diagnosed, because you still sang in church, right? Did you sing to him when he didn't speak?
Oh, yeah.
How did you deal with potentially your own dreams? Because I'm assuming you had dreams before you had this challenge.
I sang, I had some really steep contractual stuff I couldn't counsel carrying him. That's another thing where I thought I did too much.
Okay.
Because I sang up until the point. The night before I had him, I was on stage.
Really?
Yes, I was
Singing.
on stage, yes. He came a month early, so I was just like, oh my God, you know, thinking that I did that. But
what was the struggle like when he didn't communicate, though? Like, how did you know what he wanted or needed? And what would you tell? We have a lot of parents who watch the show who their kids are not speaking.
Or that I really didn't know, because it was no sound at all. All I know is he was looking past me. I didn't even have what you all have. It was the child looking, focusing on you.
Yeah.
That's how I knew something was wrong, because he didn't focus on me. No crying at all until, I really can't recall really when Kalin cried.
No crying at all.
No,
No
just
crying.
looking out into space, and you want to tell me that he's fine. Boys, they
Are delayed.
Yeah.
There's all these women in the house that talk for them, all the things that they say.
girls mature
Go
a lot
faster.
Yeah.
So what would you say to the parent that's out there watching this that has a child that's still not speaking?
Keep
They still
reading.
not have the support that they feel like they need, or they can't access it, they can't afford it. What would you say to that parent today? Because I'm sure you didn't think that Kalin would be headed to college.
No.
Just that in itself. Just
It's
that in
amazing.
itself.
It's amazing. I would tell them I had a lot of books, and I read to him constantly. I wanted him to hear my voice. I wanted to read. I wanted to turn him around when he was in the corner rocking. I would turn him around and stop him from rocking. I would stop him from rocking. I would stop him from rocking. Some people thought that was harsh. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist, but I am a mom.
Amen.
And I was praying and asking God what to do and how to do it, and to guide me and lead me the right way, because that was my heart. And I was not going to let him stay in the dark. I was not going to let him stay there. So when he was rocking, I would stop him from rocking. When he wasn't focused on me, I would turn his head and make him look me in the eye.
Yep.
When he would put his head down, I would bring it right back up. But when he started babbling, he would babble the same thing over and over again. So to me, that was communication, because he knew what he was saying, even though I didn't. And then I found these books that I grew up on. They were called Dick and Jane. You guys might be too young to remember that.
I don't know if I remember
But
Dick
they're
and Jane.
repetitive. See Jack Run.
Oh yes, I
See
remember
Jane
Dick and
Run.
Jane. Yes,
Because they were repetitive.
that's right.
Yes.
Where
And
was you when I needed these books? I needed this story a while ago.
I had to really hunt for those books, because when we got them, they came in little bitty.
Yes.
Now they're in one big book. All the stories are in one big book.
In one,
Yeah.
right. It's like chapters or something like
Yes.
that, right.
And so he would go get the book, bring it to me to read.
And you would just read it.
And I would just read over and over and over again.
What about losing yourself in this process? I mean, you said roll up the sleeves. We're both roll up the sleeves moms. We put our kids first, but again, I think a lot of our parents, I tried to share that there is life after autism. I, as a business person, I always say, even to, the accountants and everybody, I'm like, I have to save not only for me, but for my son, because I don't know if it's going to take retirement for both of us, and he may not be able to do that. Now, seeing Kalin, I'm like, come on through, God. You keep reminding me you can do this, right? Nothing is impossible with you. But it's interesting for me. and important for me to share with our audience too, like not forgetting about yourself, because you throw everything you got into your kid. You do it usually when there's no challenges. So with challenges, do you feel like you threw everything at Kalin? Do you feel like you gave up on Sonya at all?
Not gave up. No, I didn't give up at all. I continue to do, like I said, I continue to sing. I continue to travel doing makeup and styling people. But in the beginning, I just laid it to the side for just a little bit, but not singing, because that
Y'all
was
hear that?
my voice.
For a minute. And she sang because
Yeah.
that was her voice. I need some of y'all, any of y'all, a piece of y'all. Listen to this. Comment below if you have questions, because this is extremely important. I want them to hear this. We get these questions day in and day out, and I know your inbox is flooded as well.
You can't lose yourself at all. I mean, it gets a time where you disappear for a second,
Right.
but then you have to reel yourself back in.
Okay.
You have to reel yourself back in, and it's okay. I had to tell myself, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I had to remind myself that you're not going to miss what God has for you.
No.
That's what I kept saying to myself. You're not going to miss, because I felt like you know, for a moment of my life, everything was ran by doctor's appointments and schedules and, you know, just trying to access the right care and keep trying to figure it out and keep trying to figure it out and educating my kids in the process. And it had its challenges for sure. Any of the interesting things that that you see today in Kalin, do you still see some of those attributes of autism today? Now he's speaking. Now he's he's signing contracts. He's signing autographs. You know, and speaking on shows like Good Morning America and just having all these different opportunities. Do you still see the same Kalin you saw when they told you he couldn't?
Oh no. I don't see that at all.
It's like God's miracle, like right in front of your face.
Yeah, and you have to, like I said, I had to come up with my own roadmap. And with him not having voice, I keep him right now in communications.
Okay.
He's using what the devil meant for bad for his good.
Amen.
And so whatever they told him that he couldn't do, I just went to work as far as speech, communications, because they said he wasn't going to do that. And so that's the thing that I keep him in. That's why I get so emotional when he speaks, because I remember when he couldn't. And God gives him such peace when he speaks. He speaks way better than I do.
I said that too when Jaden gets in line.
Talking in front of people. I would tell him, put it on some sheet music or something, and I'll go for it. But as far as doing what he does, that's why I'm always like, nah. I don't.
We're going to get you to sing before
I
you
don't
get
like
out of
the
here.
camera like that.
Well, the camera likes you.
So I played basketball. I was about like 5 something in 4th grade, like 5'10", 4th grade. So yeah, crazy, right?
You know what? I thank you so much for being transparent, especially for all of our viewers, and such a good friend to me and family now.
Yes,
you're family now. So I want to say this one last thing before we leave. Is there anything that you would like to say to anyone out there who might be watching the show? And please, again, anybody comment if you have any questions or comments. If we don't get, if there's a burning question we haven't had a chance to answer, if you comment below, we'll make sure that we get back to you. But Sonya, is there any word of advice that you would leave any parent that's going through this journey right now, who might feel like they've lost hope? See, I'm not all the way on the other side, but I'm on the other side of a side I once was on that was very tough and dark for me. You're on the other side, but it doesn't mean that we still don't have challenges. Our challenges are just different. What would you say to that parent that is struggling with the diagnosis, have given up hope in themselves and their child? What would you say to them today?
Continue to fight. Continue to fight. Don't give up on your child. And in the darkness, there is light. You just have to find the light and let your child lead you to the light, and everything will be fine.
If there was one thing you wanted to say to our audience that was out there, what would you want them to know if they had a kid that was maybe dealing with autism or any other challenge? What would you say to them?
Never give up.
Never give up.
Never give up.
So if you've had a chance to meet Jaden, you know, and he wants to play soccer, because that's his sport, not so much basketball, not so much football. Is there any word of advice you would give me as a mom?
Always be there to support, because mama's the best medicine.
Ooh, I like that. Mama is the best medicine. High five on that one, Jaden.
And, you know, one of the things that I always say that when I leave this world, I want Kalin to be able to just flow, and every mom, flow and live on his own, and I think he's headed in the right direction. I just want the work that I've done to keep on speaking for me.
Oh, amen. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing, and I look forward to continuing to spend more time with you and Kalin. I look forward to going to his games. Okay.
I want to tell you thank you. You're an awesome mom.
Thank you.
And your work is not in vain. You're helping and you're blessing a lot of families out there. I don't want you to feel like that I know sometimes you feel like that wall is just something that you can't break through. If you can't break through it, keep climbing. Keep climbing.
Amen. Thank you so much.
May the work that I've done speak for me. May the work I've done speak for me. When I'm resting in my grave, there ain't nothing can't be said. May the work I've done speak for me. I've done, Jesus, oh God. It seems so small. Sometimes it seems like nothing at all. But when I stand before my God, I want to hear Him say, well done. May the work I've done, oh, speak for me. Thank you. That's all I want, God.